Greetings, ladies and mental gents, and welcome to my channel, where I like to make audio narrations of various stories from the internet. In this video, we'll be focusing on a story from the subreddit HFY, called Food for Thought Part 9, written by Level 25 Human Nerd. A link to the original story will be in the description down below. And, as always, I hope that you enjoy. Walk now the path, walk the peaceful way, with the head high and the scales unburdened with dust. May your claws feel the touch of the ever-flowing waters around them, and may your blade hang eternal over the hearth of your brood. Walk now the path, O honoured lost, may the warm sun carry your steps ever forward, may you never know the cold dark in your bones. We sing to you now, O honoured lost, we sing your name until our lungs fall empty, and others sing for us. We sing to you now, O honoured lost, so that you may walk ever forward, unburdened by the blade and shield of the free of worry of what lies behind you. For, as we sing, you may know that you are not forgotten, and your deeds light the path for us to follow. Rough translation of the Sabari funeral hymn for warriors. Any NTO worth their salt has a special power. It's a power that keeps them and their comrades alive on the battlefield. It is clear, unspoken, and understanding amongst every member of the squad that didn't have it leached out of them by officer training that something is wrong. It's a sense that tells a Marine that her lieutenant was walked the squad into a minefield. It is the sense that tells the airman that the quartermaster ordered a cheap parts to save on a budget. And it's the sense that old Alex thought something had gone absolutely foobar the moment he stepped onto the bridge. The place was alive with activity, the screens and holograms filling the room showing all manner of tactical and sensor data. A multiple panel display showed the world that they were in orbit above. He grabbed onto the cart and stopped his hand from shaking as he pushed it forward. He paused when he could, and he let the bridge crew move past and eventually came full to a near stop at the central hollow table where the shipmaster was staring at what looked like a tack map. Thurus did not look all that well. His crest laid flat against his head, his tail swaying back and forth like a nervous animal that scales on his hands pulled apart slightly by the death grip on his hand of the table. It took a moment for him to notice Alex was there and hanging out bowls of some kind of red meaty soup. Dread Alpha, he offered a greeting, straightening up and running his claws through his feathers. He sounded tired as he looked. Shipmaster, I hope I'm not here at a bad time. Thurus shook his head and took a bowl that Alex offered. Raising it to pour the stuff down his maw, he felt warmth of the dish was down his gullet, the sweetness of the stuff leaving a pleasant aftertaste on his tongue. My compliments, Pitmaster. I see why my crew has taken such a liking to your work. He looked back at the hologram and took another drink of the stuff. Come closer, perhaps you can see something as a human that I cannot. Alex shuffled himself around the cart and moved in to stand next to the shipmaster. The table showed a rough terrain map of what he assumed was a planet below. There were red marks and geometric pattern on the surface with large blue bubbles projected of each point. The bubbles overlapping in such a way that there was no bare spots between a lot of them. And high above the surface map there was two spots floating in the air, one green and a smaller yellow dot. I heard we were going after a smuggler base. I assume that's it, he asked, gesturing at the cluster of red and blue. Indeed, the large icon here is the central base, and the smaller one points to the defensive installations. And let me guess, those blue spheres are shields. The shipmaster gave him a grim nod. That is not all, Dreadmaster. Thurus tapped the few icons and a much larger red hex grid spheres appeared. This is the range of the defensive weapons. We tried to send in a strike force to the surface, but the ships were shot down. Two of the shuttles managed to avoid the attack, and I ordered them to return. The third, he made a few gestures, and a new icon appeared a few kilometers outside of the shield bases. The third was hit hard. The pilot managed to steer the vessel away from the enemies and a crash on the other side of the hills. Alex nodded, noting the look of dimming hope in the officer's eyes. Survivors, sir? Yes. Thank the honored dead. They sent a message to tell us of their situation and their intent to leave the crash site before patrols were sent to investigate. But that is the last we heard from them. We cannot send a rescue because the anti-air cannons. and if we tried to land beyond their range, we might not be able to reach the survivors before the pirates do. And if you do try to assault the base by landing forces beyond the gun range, they'll see you coming miles away and be waiting for you. It'd be a death trap." The human reasoned as he circled the table. Thirg gave a nod. "That is not all. The shuttle that was shot down carried some of my best assault warriors, Pac Beta Reclocris amongst them." Alex froze and looked up at the mail, understanding crossing the human's mind. The shipmaster wasn't concerned about his missing troops. Captain or not, the man was a father, and his daughter was down on the planet in need of help. Alex turned his attention back to the map again, trying to puzzle out the options. "I'm going to assume an orbital bombardment and consider it less than honorable, and even if it wasn't, I'm betting those shields will make that idea moot." The shipmaster gave another nod and settling into his command seat, the ball being settled in his arm with a huff. "The facility was one of our early reconnaissance bases. The shields can take bombardment of half a fleet and keep running. Only way to disable them is from the central command room all at once, or one at a time through the generators." The human turned his attention upwards to those two floating dots. "What are these?" "The green one is us, the yellow one is the human vessel, the UCH Scheherazade," Thirg replied, struggling with the unfamiliar word. Alex scratched his chin lightly and took another look at the map. "If I may, sir, I have an idea, but it's kind of crazy." Captain Abigail Bendon didn't like the situation one bit. The Scheherazade was a heavy corvette, a reconnaissance and escort vehicle, not a ship of the line, yet here she was parked above hostile-controlled world with what was practically a dreadnought barely 100 kilometers off her side. Orders were orders, though, and the High Command wanted to play nice with the big lizards, so that meant that she had to stand by and offer whatever aid that she could in clearing out the alien criminals below. Sometimes she wondered what she had done to piss off the Admiralty. Thankfully, the quiet tedium was broken with a report from her communications officer. "Ma'am, message from Sabari warship. Text only. It's the UCH encryption tag attached." Well now, that was odd. She wasn't aware of the blood of many who was provided with those kinds of codes. "Send it to my terminal, ensign." When the file popped up on her screen, she tapped her way to the clearance code and waited. What she saw made her eyes widen slightly. "To Captain, UCH Corvette Scheherazade. From P.0.1 Krevnikov Alexander CSV. Culinary resupply request." She felt the heat rise up in her cheeks. How dare a petty officer use combat channels to make a simple supply request? Encrypting and addressed to her directly, no less. Who did he think he was? She was about to order an MP team to go over and arrest the man when she kept reading. As she looked over the list provided, she noticed that the supply codes didn't match the items listed. Slowly, the message became more clear, and she smiled. "Get me, engineering." "Engineering, aye ma'am, on the line." "Chief, Captain Bendon, I'm sending you a list, and I want everything on it loaded onto a shuttle ASAP. Along with 2 engineers, we have a delivery to make to our new friends." Back on the blood of many, Thirg raised a curious brow at Alex as a reply came from the other ship. A single line of text, 30 minutes or it's free. End of Part 9. If you enjoyed this story and wish to support the author, the link is down below. If you would like to support this channel, there are numerous ways to do so. They will also be listed in the description down below. But the easiest way to help this channel is to share it, subscribe, and like. And, as always, I will see you all in the next video, and I hope that you have a good one. Cheers!